Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video I'm going to discuss whether Coventry and Rotherham have an unfair advantage over the rest of the Championship next season. Let's get into it. So the Championship season ended yesterday, and what a final day it was. The regular season is done and dusted. We know who's going up and down from the Championship, but the playoffs are still to be decided. The playoff final isn't going to take place until the 4th of August, so that's when the Championship season usually is about to get underway for a new season. We're not even done with this season due to the big break we had in the middle of it, but Coventry and Rotherham have a bit of an advantage, and I'll get onto that in a bit. But let's talk about the Championship and finish that. It has been the most rigorous end to a season for any Championship team. All of the 24 clubs have had to play 9 games in little over a month, which has been absolutely incredible to watch, but tough on the players, tough on the staff, tough on the managers. It's been absolutely non-stop. And those teams in the playoffs are going to have to play 12 games if they reach the playoff final. 12 games in 6 weeks. That is unheard of. 2 games per week, every single week. That is going to take its toll on the players and staff, and they're going to need a bit of a break before next season. It's going to be a shorter pre-season, and the start date for next season is now thought to be around the 12th of September. There's going to be a vote for that by the EFL tomorrow on Friday. Hopefully we'll get a start date for the new Football League season. So mid-September is looking like the likely start date, but so many teams in the Championship being unsure of what league they're going to be. Every team was involved in the relegation battle almost, or what league they were going to be in terms of promotion as well. Only a couple of teams were safe in mid-table and start planning towards next season, but the coronavirus has meant fans aren't going to games. It's impacted their finances. They're not sure which players they could sign. They're not sure how safe they're going to be next season. There's so much uncertainty in the Championship, or there has been, with the clubs in danger of going down, whereas now is really the first day that they can look forward and try to start planning for next season. As well as those issues, there's also been issues with player contracts, players having to extend their loans or extend their contracts for a few months. Will those players be retained? I mean, clubs will have to release their retained lists pretty soon in the Championship, so fans can sort of get an idea, and managers get an idea of what their squad is going to look like ahead of the 2020-21 season. But it's been absolute chaos in the Championship, and over the next few weeks I think there's going to be even more. For me, players need about 2 or 3 weeks off to rest and recuperate after this mad spell of games before getting into a mad short pre-season. So if we're looking at a mid-September, 12th of September start date, if you look at those teams in the playoffs, takes us up to the start of August, 2 weeks off mid-August. You've got a month max of pre-season, which is way shorter than any players are used to. So the start of the Championship next season might be a bit chaotic as well, with the transfer window open for a month into October. So the Championship is going to be so difficult to call at the start of next season, and clubs certainly aren't going to be at their best. So we've talked about the struggles Championship clubs are going to face, but let's talk about the 2 teams that this video is about, Rotherham and Coventry. Let's start with Coventry, because they returned to light training and pre-season on the 13th of July. 2 weeks ago now, they've been getting underway, getting their players up to speed, and more importantly for the Sky Blues, Mark Robins and his staff have made 5 signings already. 5 signings before the season had even finished for every other Championship club. That puts them way ahead of the game, weeks and weeks ahead of their rivals next season. They've done brilliant business so far. The likes of Callum O'Hare coming in from Villa. Gustavo Hamer looks like a player from the Eredivisie. So they're both very exciting, as well as 3 other players, and it just puts them at such an advantage. Surely the players are getting up to speed, up to fitness, and they're going to have 2 months to prepare for the start date of the Championship, or the likely start date in the middle of September, while other Championship clubs will be battling out in the playoffs a month after Coventry started pre-season training. It's absolutely ridiculous. I think it's actually unfair in some way. I mean, if you look at the Championship and the Premier League, they're in the same boat, but League 2 and League 1 are in the same boat as well. But the gap between the League 1 and Championship, there's a big difference there, isn't it? Coventry haven't played football for 4 months. They had 4 months without training at all. That was their break. I know it might not have felt like it to the players, but it was. And now they're back in pre-season training, and they're looking good. Their first pre-season friendly is on Saturday against Rangers. That is a big game for them, just to see how they're getting on. Well, the Championship clubs aren't even playing their playoff semi-finals until Sunday. So they're at a huge advantage, in my opinion. And Mark Robins, the manager, brings stability. They know he's going to be in charge for the entirety of next season, unless he gets a huge offer from elsewhere. And he's bringing in the players and staff that he wants for the Championship. Meanwhile, Rotherham, they've done pretty well in pre-season as well. They started even earlier than Coventry. The 1st of July they were in, although they were aiming for a start date predicted about the end of August. So they've had to change their plans a little bit. In fact, Paul Warne sent them out on a big holiday for a week. They've not gone together, don't worry, they've gone with their families. Paul Warne has taken his family to Centre Parks this week. Oh yes, what a man. We're loving to see him back in the Championship. He's gone with his new puppy called Chief. If you want to check out his puppy, it's absolutely amazing. Paul Warne's done that to avoid an 11-week pre-season, which could have been likely if the Millers had stayed in training all of that time. So this is going to be a bit of a break, and they're going to have a proper start date when they come back. But even then, they'll have got up to fitness and they'll be way ahead of Championship clubs. They've already signed Mikel Miller as well, and they've sold Jerry Yates. So they're doing a bit of business already, trying to get their squad ready to try and stay in the Championship. I think I need to mention Wycombe as well. I mean, Wycombe are at a slight advantage compared to the Championship clubs, but they're at a slight disadvantage in comparison to Coventry and Rotherham, given they had to win the playoffs and put all their effort into that. But I'm sure they're starting pre-season training in a couple of weeks or so, so they're going to be at an advantage as well. Of course, Gareth Ainsworth is another solid manager there. He'll be getting his squad together in shape, ready to take on the Championship and try and defy the odds again. But I guess the point of this is the Championship going to be unfair next season? In my opinion, I think it is slightly unfair, but there's no other solution, is it? Coventry and Rotherham can do what they want. They haven't been playing football for 4 months. But the whole point of playing on for the Championship and Premier League was to maintain the integrity of the competition. But is that actually going to carry on into next season? And the integrity will be slightly different because Coventry have had such a long pre-season and Rotherham have to get the teams ready. I'm sure the Championship clubs have their own advantages. Of course, the money coming in, the parachute payments. It's going to be a tough struggle for Coventry and Rotherham to stay up, as well as Wycombe. But I think this is their best ever chance. If you want to get promoted from League One, this was the best season ever to do it. You've got such an advantage in terms of preparation, squad size, transfers, fitness. You've got to start with a bang. And I think Coventry, Rotherham and Wycombe could shock a few people this season. Let me know what you think in the comments. Is the Championship slightly unfair for next season? Do you expect Coventry, Rotherham and Wycombe to stay up? Give me your predictions on where you think they'll finish early on. But you have to say, they've had a great start. They've done good business. They're getting their fitness up. I think they're at a huge advantage. But that is all for me on today's video, guys. Only a short one, but I'll see you on the next one.